ladies and gentlemen, I'm Benjamin Temple. This time we're doing a video on the Union Pacific FEF-3 class, the road number 844, also known, classified as the Northern Steam Locomotive. I just got this this week. I think it was Wednesday, and been busy doing some other stuff. Plus, I've been kind of sick. And matter of fact, normally I have these out on the track, test running them or looking them over. I did look at it, but just other than the front to make sure it had the Mars light, because I wanted that with this engine, and it does. But other than that, I've never even tested. So it goes on the track. I've got power thrown, and we're going to kind of go over the details. I also want to make a correction on, I think it was my Blue Goose video. So when I was running that engine and I said the functions didn't work, that did work the way they were supposed to. There's what's called standard DCC with sound, and then I guess it's Pro sound or something like that. I don't remember just without reading the paper, but reason I tell you that, yeah, it's called Pro mode. So if you have, I believe it is Broadway Limits controller, you can do special functions, which with this particular engine you weren't able to do. Why they set it up that way, I don't know, but not complaining, so I just wanted to make that correction. So the engine did function correctly. So here we go in looking this locomotive over. Thought maybe it's kind of hard to try to run a camera in. I don't have a real bright lighting in here, or at least maybe it's bright enough to do what I need to do, I don't know. But so on this engine is this particular valve system where my ink pen's at is the washers. You'd say, well, how do you know that? Like I say, I don't have my books here at my parents' house, but due to this linkage setup, that's the washers. I haven't studied it in a long while, so I don't know all the parts. I mean, this is a concentric crank, and I mean, so like I said, so this red light is the Mars light. This is your headlight. This is your number board. This here is your marker lights, and this is the bell. So when it comes to steam engines, I do know a lot about it. So there's what's called the Worthington feed water heater. So what a feed water heater does is it takes the exhaust steam and crosses it with the water from the tender, preheating it, and then sending it back into the boiler, gaining that much efficiency because you're using exhaust heat. In some cases, some of them actually reuse some of the steam and then put it back into the boiler. But they also usually use a certain amount of the water out of the tender to preheat it. And then, of course, something unique kind of to the Union Pacific is the dual exhaust stack. And then this here is your steam whistle. Now, maybe you can't see it, but there's a hole underneath of that because this is supposed to have the smoking whistle. Now, steam whistles don't actually smoke in real life. It's steam that you see coming out, but to stimulate that steam, it's smoke. And so probably a lot of people think I'm a real idiot after the Blue Goose video, but
I don't know how well you can see it in this video, but what I called um, the throttle valve, I meant throttle linkage. So there's a metal rod with another connecting, and it connects to the you can't see it because of these here are known as smoke deflectors or elephant ears, but the idea is to bring the air up in a way that carries its smoke over the cab, keeping from the crew people not having smoke up in the cab. So this is your stand dome on this steam engine, and I'm pretty sure this middle is your steam dome, which is the highest point. It's funny how they incorporated that all into the sand dome. And then these here are your pop-off safety valve. These, which I didn't see on the Blue Goose, but usually all steam locomotives have their steam generators, so it converts the steam to electricity, which powers the electric lights, on modern steam engines. Um, I don't know if there's anything else that I could tell you about a steam engine. This is an oil tender. You'd say, well, how do you know that? I mean, most guys that know anything about steam engine would know that, but you don't, for one, see coal up here in the front. Plus, you also have what's known as your dipstick, which they pull out from time to time to check the level of the oil inside the tender. Um, on the Union Pacific FEF class, well, it isn't just the FEF class, but the late challengers, and the big boy has what's called a centipede tender, which you can see that from all the axles underneath the engine. And so, for those that don't know steam engine, up here in the front is your freewheeling or your pilot wheels. So there's two, and if you go to the other side, there's two more, so it's four. And then these are your drive wheels, which, forgive me, I don't remember I think it's 80-inch on the Union Pacific. If it's like, I'm pretty sure the big boy had something like 36 and then 45, but I'm not sure on the FEF-3 class. But then, so there's another set of freewheeling axles here on the end, and you have two, so that's how it's classified as a 484 steam engine. This is your steam turret, as it's called, and what does that mean to most people? Well, I also think there's what they call a low water alarm, which will go off here, or low steam pressure or steam, which is what this little hole thing. But usually steam turret is where all the piping valve comes to and is made weaker, so that if something was to break, it breaks on the outside of the steam engine, hopefully not injuring the cab people, or at least that's what was explained to me. I don't know if there's anything else that I can really explain to you, because like I say, I don't have my books, and usually I study this stuff that I don't need my books, but I've been working on my master's degree and then working on paying my student loans down. So I've worked two jobs and 100 hours, and just don't really have the time to study. At least I haven't been. Um, so the other thing that I kind of like, which is probably really hard to see, but maybe you can see it better there. So on this engine, usually the pilot has a part of the cow catcher, or that metal pilot. It swivels and out comes the coupler. But unfortunately, in the HO scale, they still don't have. They have it, but it's a fake dummy coupler. But but I just thought some people might like to see that. Now I don't know where I'm showing right here what those. There's also what they call a relay valve on steam engines, where it's kind of like a check pressure valve. But I like I say, I don't have my books, and I haven't studied this in a while. But So there's the hatches for the water to check, and then right here is appears for whatever reason my cameras went out of focus. So, but here's your marker lights on the rear, and then there's a red light, just like on the Blue Goose, and then here's your backup light on this engine. So we'll see if we can go ahead and fire this up, and while I'm doing that, maybe I have time to look up some information and double check myself, because like I said, I haven't really studied that engine down. I mean, the FEF unit is not exactly my favorite. The big boy is more my thing, but gotta admit, even that would be something that would probably be a challenge for me to get every part right nowadays. Just for the fact that I don't study it on a regular basis. So this engine, you know, to the Union Pacific is considered the living legend, Northern number 844. And the UP themselves classified this engine as the FEF-3 class. I believe that was what's on the box. And I have the box so I can, yes, look and check and make sure that's correct. But I wanted to make sure that I was telling you. So this engine was built in 1944, if I remember correctly. Yes, that's what it says here. It was delivered in 1945. It was converted to oil, and it's been there ever since. And this is the engine that was never retired. However, it did have its road number changed due to a diesel that had that same number. In 1962, it became 8444, and then it regained its road number when that engine, of course, was scrapped, or well, when that engine was retired, which I was going to give you that year, but I'm not sure that. Let's see, well, doesn't say on this website. On the Union Pacific, oh yeah, the engine was retired in 1989, so that's when it regained back its original road number. So yes, the wheel diameter, drive wheel is 80 inches, and then the total length of the engine is 144 feet 2 5/8 inches long. The engine weighs 907,980 pounds, or 454 tons with the engine and tender. The diameter for the cylinder is 25 inch, and it's a 32 inch stroke. Probably don't care about all this stuff, but you can look it up on, you can actually put Union Pacific 844, and you can, the first thing that pops up on Google you'll find. So the tractive effort is 63,800. Now I know that's stronger than that Blue Goose. You'd say, well, yeah, it's a bigger engine. Yeah, I'm not saying the Blue Goose was a weak engine. I just wanted something to compare, and you know, compare one engine to the next, just kind of have an idea how strong that is. I do know they say the Broadway limit, at least according to James Wright, would pull quite a few engines. As a matter of fact, probably stronger than anything in HO scale that I've seen. The factor of adhesion, which is the ability for the wheels to stick to the rail, is 4.18. I don't see that it gives the other diameters of the wheels. I know you can look this stuff up in books, because I don't think I have anything specifically on the FEF-3 class. I know the big boy and the Challenger, I have some of that. But I wanted to say it was like 36 and then 45 inch.
on the rear, but that may or may not be correct for some of you railroad geeks that might know more about it. If you'd like to drop me a comment, I'd appreciate it. I'm not going to be mad about that. So, like I said, in here, let's see if we can start this up and see how it's going to run. So, unlike the Rapido locomotives, it's F9 as the function to start it up. As you see, this thing, everything comes on, and it is smoking too, and it automatically So when the first time I pushed it, it didn't really smoke, but you can see it smoking at the whistle, and you can see the light come on. You can hear F1 is the bell, and F2 is the steam whistle. I really don't know why I'm saying steam's the only one that has a whistle. So the light does come on there. Let's see if anything else. It seems to say that all the lights should come on. But so I hit F0 and the marker lights and the headlights went out. Now the cab light comes on automatically the way we have this set up, so whenever you go into the park mode, it automatically comes on. And on this, the Mars light actually is functional, so I hit F24, and as you can see that red light is on, although it's flashing. Now I know the Mars light on a diesel, which is the I forget what they call it now, but oscillated, just kind of like that. So maybe it's supposed to do that. Forgive me, I'm looking through the functions to see what is and isn't here. So I hit F10, which is the oil injector for this because it doesn't use coal.